Good morning, everybody. I'm Corbin with the PRO of the SSA, which is Sanitation Service Authority. With us, we have Minister of the Environment and National Beautification, the Honorable Trevor Prescod. We also have Reynolds, the General Manager of the National Conservation Commission, Sean Brathwaite, Health Officer over there, Trevor Taylor, Senior Environmental Health Officer. To my left, we have Anthony Brathwaite, age 29. And then you have Ross Corbin, age 23. We are here because yesterday, from around afternoon, let's say 1500 hours, which is 3 o'clock, a video was circulated which caught the attention of members as high as cabinet to low down as the vendor who sells in Bridgetown. And we were inundated with calls about what we were going to do. Our first course of action as entities that deal with this is to investigate. We were able to locate these two young men as well as the owner of the vehicle, separate and distinct from these two young men. We contacted the Ministry of Health because they are the enforcers of the legislation. We contacted the NCC because this is where they're governing, this is where they are mandated to keep and beautify this on behalf of the government of Barbados. We would have then met with the police. The police, led by Station Sergeant Lynch of the Hastings Worthing Station, would have interviewed these two young men, and they would have been told exactly what is in the law. Then the guys were remorseful, and they have agreed to 5 days community service, and they will also work with us to get a campaign out so that not only Barbadians but visitors can understand and appreciate that this act is not honorable at all and does not reflect the excellence of what the minister and our departments would want at all.
There are a whole number of culprits from day to day across the entire country. And Alf, you know very well, we were recently in that street, the way Richmond.
President Kelman,
right. 2 days ago, the sanitation department was in the Bridge Road.
Yes, sir.
The depths of the gully in the Bridge Road is extremely deep, and the sanitation had trapped down in that gully, cleaning stuff. After members of the Barbadian public indicated clearly that they saw a man who, because of the lack of strong evidence, we were unable to do what we are doing even here. Although he considers this a very generous form of action for the kind of injurious conduct that we are witnessing across Barbados. Last year, the sanitation department had to endure a battering. The Ministry of Health, I'm thankful that the officers here from Health, and as well as the officers from NCC, we all had to endure a battering from the general public of Barbados on the untidy state of the country. But it was not only about the aesthetics that we were talking at the particular time. The health of the nation was threatened by the form of social abuse that we were witnessing. I want these two young men of two different social backgrounds to understand clearly that as long as I am Minister of the Environment and anything like this occur again, this would not become any massaging or romanticizing. What we are doing here today is at least striking a compromise with you. But you're going to have to give a signal to the general public that you are showing some signs of remorse, and you're also going to send a signal to other persons who believe that they can act like this and continue to be engaged in activities, even commercial activities across the country with that kind of behavior. I don't know exactly if you're involved in selling of coconut water. I don't know exactly what was your purpose. I don't even know if you were rewarded for the actual act financially that you committed. But I must tell you that I view the behavior which I saw, and as I've indicated, my phone is decorated with a lot of unwholesome calls about the manner in which both of you behaved yesterday on the beaches of Barbados, on the beach here of Barbados. And it is not going to be tolerated by this government. It is not going to be tolerated by this government, and you should know better. You are adults. I am not going to tell you about we have to have any country looking, the aesthetics must be sparkling because of tourism. You have a responsibility to your own people. The Barbadians first. This is your home. You have a responsibility to keep it clean. And while we have strike a compromise with you, to some extent, both of you will serve the state in providing some form of community duty and cleanup here. And I'm not sure if it had gone beyond, if one might not be enjoying special privileges over the other one. So I make sure that all two of you and my officers are fully aware of how I think and how my government policy must go. All two must experience the same punishment in the present circumstances. So one is not going to get away and the other one end up in prison. One is not going to serve time for the same act because both of you, in my view, did the same thing. Right? So both of you will pay the same penalty. And we have actually involved in a gentleman's agreement with you for that which is not so gentlemanlike. Right? And I want you to apologize to the general public, give them the assurance that you would never do it again. And I want all persons who escaped us before to take this as a warning. We will not be so courteous on the next occasion. Judicial action will be taken, and I will be watching carefully the outcome of what the decisions are in the court of law. But on this occasion, we settled it with you, and we would expect you to honor your part of the agreement. So I understand that you'll be here for the next 5 days? 5 days? I don't want them to be liming out the coconut trees. If you're here for the next 5 days, you must produce. So I would expect that you have an idea of the areas that they're supposed to clean. Well, you could tell me what the areas?
We're cleaning the drill hall, Air Beach area, and from Pebbles all the way down to Pierhead. So it will be a long stretch of beach, approximately 2 kilometers, and they will continue to clean that for the 5 days.
And what about removing the stuff, the waste that is accumulated?
We have bins in place to remove the ones along the Kerala Bay stretch, and they will also be removing any debris in excess of what the containers can hold. They themselves will have to use the same vehicle that was involved to transport it to the correct dumping site, the sanitation landfill.
Okay, well, I think that let me just say at this point, I want to thank the Ministry of Health. I want to thank the Sanitation Department, the REN. You're more directly in contact with me on a regular basis, and you know that I am in harmony with you on the direction which you have taken in this exercise. And I just want to re-emphasize the importance that any time we catch anyone, I know they're dumping coconut shells all in the bell. I know that they're doing that, but we will catch them. Unfortunately, we don't have cameras at every location that they do these things, but I want to appeal to the Barbadian public that whenever they observe this type of behavior, make sure you record it and make sure you communicate with the relevant ministries and action will be taken so that we can address this problem right across the island itself. So I want to thank all of you.